I'm a little bit under the influence. I had a little bit of strain called Runts. Don't know if anyone's heard of that, but yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's making us laugh a lot. Like, I'm laughing at myself, seeing little images in my head and things like that. And I've been thinking about survival in a funny way, believe it or not, because I all of a sudden got this vision in my head of someone getting this like stylish haircut, and someone getting a really bad haircut, and I heard this kind of like this voice. You know how, I don't know whether it's the higher self or God or whatever, but sometimes when you're under the influence you get this voice comes in. It's kind of like a low, deep, loving voice, and it'll like ask you things. I believe people call it the higher self, but nobody knows for sure. But it's part of a reality that can't be ignored really, because anybody under the influence will get this. Some people get it without being under the influence. I do slightly, but it's not as powerful when I'm under the influence. But this voice said, "What's bad about a bad haircut?" And I suddenly had this like kind of immediate reaction, because sometimes your mind and your body will react to something without you even having control of it. It'll just instantly know the answer to something, and that's when reality gets really interesting, when things like that happen, because you think that how on earth would I know what answer to give without even thinking about it first. But sometimes that happens, guys. But anyway, it said, "What's bad about a bad haircut?" And I was seeing this guy with like a really funny looking, stupid, misshaped haircut. And I was like laughing at it in my head, like just probably laughing at it. Then the voice said, "What's bad about that?" And I thought about it, and I was like, hold on a minute. Like, what's good about a good haircut? So it's like funny. And I was like, what's good about a good haircut? And I had to really think about that. And I imagined somebody else was with us, a friend of mine, and he was like thinking about that as well. And he was like, shit, that's right. And I was like, aye, it is, because what's good about anything? What's the difference between good and bad? Like, what's good about a good haircut and what's bad about a bad haircut? There's no difference at all, just a difference in shape. So who says it's good or says it isn't good? And then I thought about the ego, and I thought like the ego is the thing that's evolved in us since we were cavemen, okay, since we were just purely survival. And that's what I'm going to get into in a moment, guys, survival, because this leads to survival. Where was I? And I was like, yeah. So I said, what's good about a good haircut? It's just a change in shape. Now, the only thing that makes it good or bad is the ego. And I was thinking, is the ego meant to be here? Because people have got mixed views on this. But then I realized, yes, the ego does have to be here, because it's the level after survival. And then it linked the two, and it said, what's good about a good haircut and what's bad about a bad haircut? And then it said, what's good about a good car, okay, and what's bad about a bad car. And that was different to the haircut, you see, guys. So, because with a haircut, it's just a change of shape. You could say something along the lines of, like, the more the hair protects your head, the better the haircut is, you see. But we've all seen like people with hair that's really messy and they haven't like kind of got it cut in ages, and we think that looks stupid. So it's the ego that tells us it looks stupid, but in reality, is that better because it's creating more survival, because it's protecting the head more, you see. So this leads back to what it said. It said, this voice said, what's good about a good car and what's bad about a bad car? And then it instantly hit us. A car is very different to a haircut, because the car is more about survival than the haircut. So what's good about a good car is that a good car will move faster, it will perform better, it'll last longer, it'll be built stronger, it'll look more visually pleasing. And what I realized is all this is linked to survival, you see, because the reason a good car is better than a bad car is because of survival. But the reason for a good haircut instead of a bad haircut isn't survival, it's ego. Okay, so we've got these two things merging at the moment, survival and ego, and that's why they're merging. Everything has to merge before it can separate, and then something new will come in, you see. So we're going from survival to ego. It's a necessary part of the evolution process. The ego then takes us out of survival into a whole new level of awareness, and then because the two are merging, we merging them both, which is what our job here is now in this time space reality, because every person has a specific place in time and space, and that's what we're doing now in this day and age. We're merging the ego with survival, and that's why everything's happening as it is at the moment, guys. I think like everything's just going crazy in the world because the ego is getting a bit too strong, okay, and we're taking over the love. So what's happening at the moment is going to teach us a big lesson, because it's going to cause a lot of bad things to happen in the world. Then we're going to realize that love is everything. Once we've realized love is everything, you see, we no longer have the need for survival, because if love is everything, we're all going to use our ego, okay, in a loving way, which will look after everybody, and then there'll be no necessary reason for survival anymore. Hope you got all that, guys, because I forgot what I was talking about now. Anyway, I'm going to go and get a coffee, guys. Really nice catching up with you. Please like, subscribe, and pass this video on to anyone who may find it amusing. I mean, may find it helpful. Okay, have a nice day, guys.